Methamphetamine, Orlando Balboa. What is methamphetamine? Methamphetamine is a powerful and highly addictive chemical substance. Used illegally as a stimulant, it directly affects the body's central nervous system. It takes the form of a white, odorless, bitter tasting crystalline powder that easily dissolves in water or alcohol. Methamphetamine was developed early in the 20th century from its parent drug, amphetamine, and was used originally in nasal decongestants and bronchial inhalers. Like amphetamine, methamphetamine causes increased activity and talkativeness, decreased appetite, and a pleasurable sense of well-being or euphoria. However, methamphetamine differs from amphetamine in that at comparable doses, much greater amounts of the drug get into the brain, making it a more potent stimulant. It also has longer lasting and more harmful effects on the central nervous system. Methamphetamine has been classified by the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration as a Schedule II stimulant, which makes it legally available only through a non refillable prescription. Medically, it can be used to help ADHD. Methamphetamine misuse in the United States. According to the 2017 National Survey on Drug Use and Health, approximately 1.6 million people reported using methamphetamine that year, and 774,000 people reported using it in the month prior that the survey was taken. The average age of a new methamphetamine user in 2016 was just over 23 years old. An estimated 964,000 people aged 12 or older had a methamphetamine use disorder in 2017. That is, they reported clinically significant impairment, including health problems, disability, and failure to meet responsibilities at work, school, or home as a result of their drug use. This number is significantly higher than the people who had reported the methamphetamine use disorder the prior year. How is methamphetamine misused? Methamphetamine comes in several forms that can be smoked, snorted, injected, or orally ingested. The preferred method of using the drug varies by geographical region and has changed over time. Smoking or injecting methamphetamine puts the drug very quickly into the bloodstream and brain, causing an immediate intense rush and amplifying the drug's addiction potentially and adverse health consequences. The rush or flash lasts only a few minutes and is described as extremely pleasurable. Snorting or oral ingestion produces euphoria, a high, but not an intense rush. Snorting produces effects within 3 to 5 minutes, and oral ingestion produces effects within 15 to 20 minutes. How is meth different from other stimulants such as cocaine? The methamphetamine molecule is structurally similar to amphetamine and to the neurotransmitter dopamine, a brain chemical that plays an important role in the reinforcement of rewarding behaviors, but it is quite different from cocaine. Although these stimulants have similar behavioral and psychological effects, there are some major differences in the basic mechanisms of how they work. In contrast to cocaine, which is quickly removed from and almost completely metabolized in the body, methamphetamine has a much longer duration of action, and a larger percentage of the drug remains unchanged in the body. Methamphetamine therefore remains in the brain longer, which ultimately leads to prolonged stimulant effects. Although both methamphetamine and cocaine increase levels of dopamine, administrations of methamphetamine in animal studies leads to much higher levels of dopamine because the nerve cells respond differently between the two drugs. What are the immediate effects of methamphetamine misuse? As a powerful stimulant, methamphetamine, even in small doses, can increase wakefulness and physical activity and decrease appetite. Methamphetamine can also cause a variety of cardiovascular problems, including rapid heart rate, irregular heartbeat, and increased blood pressure. Hyperthermia, which is elevated body temperatures, and convulsions may occur with methamphetamine overdose, and if not treated immediately, can result in death. The exact mechanisms whereby drugs like methamphetamine produce euphoria, a pleasurable high, are still poorly understood. But along with euphoria, methamphetamine use releases very high levels of the neurotransmitter dopamine in the reward circuit, which teaches the brain to repeat the pleasurable activity of taking the drug. What are long-term effects of methamphetamine misuse? Long-term methamphetamine abuse has many negative consequences, including addiction. Addiction is a chronic relapsing disease characterized by compulsive drug seeking and use, and is accompanied by functional and molecular changes in the brain. As is the case with many drugs, tolerance to methamphetamine pleasurable effects develops when it is taken repeatedly. Abusers often need to take higher doses of the drug, take it more frequently, or change how they take it in effort to get the desired effect. Chronic methamphetamine abusers may develop difficulty feeling any pleasure other than that provided by the drug, which further fuels the abuse. Withdrawal from methamphetamine occurs when a chronic abuser stops taking the drug. Symptoms of withdrawal include depression, anxiety, fatigue, and an intense craving of the drug. What are the long-term effects of methamphetamine misuse? Continued. In addition to being addicted to methamphetamine, people who use methamphetamine long-term may exhibit symptoms that can include significant anxiety, confusion, insomnia, mood disturbances, and violent behavior. They also may display a number of psychotic features, including paranoia, visual and auditory hallucinations, and delusions. For example, the sensation of insects creeping under the skin. Psychotic symptoms can sometimes last for months or years after a person has quit using methamphetamine, and stress has been shown to precipitate spontaneous recurrence of methamphetamine psychosis in people who use methamphetamine and have previously experienced psychosis. Long-term effects continued for a third time. These and other problems reflect significant changes in the brain caused by misuse of methamphetamine. Neuroimaging studies have demonstrated alterations in the activity of the dopamine system that are associated with reduced motor speed and impaired verbal learning. Studies in chronic methamphetamine users have also revealed several structural and functional changes in areas of the brain associated with emotion and memory, which may account for many of the emotional and cognitive problems observed in these individuals. Research in primate models have found that methamphetamine alters brain structures involved in decision making and impairs the ability to suppress habitual behaviors that have become useless or counterproductive. The two effects were correlated, suggesting that the structural changes underlies the decline in mental flexibility. These changes in brain structure and function could explain why methamphetamine addiction is so hard to treat.